Hi, welcome to another video on my running robot based on the robotics TXT controller by fischertechnik. Last time I had some problems with functioning, Python issues, etc. So first thing to do is see if the interface responds as may be expected. So let's first see about that. First idea is it does respond. Settings, date and time, and once again the date has to be set properly. And then the time. Let's do that quickly. And alright. So this looks like okay for now. We're there. How about the networking? That's the proper networking. So that looks like okay. The only problem I noticed is that from the computer side, when I logged in, there is some delay. And after setting it, the delay is gone. So that is something weird. Then again, when is not something weird with my current experiments? Anyway, one thing I want to check is if everything works as could be maybe expected. And to do that, I have to elevate the front, otherwise it drives immediately and I don't want that. So let me see if this object, no, that object is not appropriate. So we take a battery pack that we shift right under it, and then just ride along. So from one of the terminals I just start the discovery Python program as I've done before. Camera is connected. Which means that quite a lot of things work, although I haven't started or I haven't quit the program, but it says anyway a struct error. Repeat count given without format specifier, which is very strange. And if you have watched my video from last week on the walking robot MIFT 2, has the same Python version, but it works. And this one, as you if you recall, it has suddenly quite a few errors, so I am not getting that, which means basically that I have to rewrite this program for the discovery, and I don't like that. But given this error, let's go to the code. So with this problem, as you can see right here, I wonder what the problem will be. Oops. I'm glad that the delay is over, but what is not over, let's go to line 303. This is weird. Okay. Traceback and a structural error. I am going to LAN data because that sounds more appropriate. LAN data. Pattern not found. Alright, I have to go all the way up to, let's say here. Where is LAN data? It's nowhere. It is in ftRablePy. It is not in my own program. That gives even more problems, because that means that I probably won't be able to fix this. And that is something I had not anticipated, of course. Let's run it again, see whatever happens. Camera connected. Well, wheels run, sound works, the light works, and the propeller works. So with this, I think it would be time to just put it on the floor and do some floor tests. Because it is very clear that if I look back at it, well, this is clearly signaling that the tripod of the camera is detected. It says speed is 64, and oh wait, why isn't this doing anything? Oh, that is weird. Does this have anything to do with the new Python? I doubt it, but you never know. I have to track that. So counter 0 pre text current counter value. Why is this not working? And then again, I see count. So this is from here, and this sounds like it's not working anymore. Neither does this, and CAS or CA start, whatever. This does not look good. Oh, yeah. For instance, CA10 or 10 or whatever, but also this one, counter 0 if sonar is 10 to 15. Let's go there. which is here, and once again there's no value. Why is there no value? Very weird. Let's go back to the first running of it. It has the same thing. Doing a floor test has no meaning until this is fixed, because without those values I have no clue what's going on. It is time to switch from the community firmware to the original firmware and then check it again. I'm very curious what will happen, and that means that I will have to log out. Alright, and then log out, and yes, reboot the controller. So in order to get to the other firmware, let's shut this one down. Should be no problem. Right. Then eject the SD card and power up again. The only point is now that I will have to use the Wi-Fi in order to log in into this controller, because now it has no longer an assigned IP address, but it functions as a DHCP controller. So let's see how I can do that again. It seems that I'm logged in. Then it should have given me other IP address, and that's another thing, of course. Let's find out how that works again. It's a 192, 168, I think. How is this setting again? Or should I look this up here? Information. Ah, yeah, right. I have to use 192.168.8.2. So SSH and login as RoboPro at 192.168.8.2. I'm into the original controller, and that means that I have to run the software. It says online, very good. But it doesn't do a thing, which is an oops. Why doesn't do it a thing? This is bad. So let's check for wheels off the ground. That is all good. Kind of functions. These sensors all work, and then I mean these front sensors. Let's run it again. What does it do? And that is not good at all. That was a display flash. Is it still running? That's the good question. Let's run it again. That was the old error. So why does it run now? Let's repeat this. Alright, let's check for some data on screen. So, you just watched that I ran the program first, it didn't do anything. I ran the program again and it functioned. Moreover, as you can see here in the left, in the right terminal, this one, when I go completely back to where can I go? No, I can't even go completely back. But anyway, this is a bit weird. Everything it says 0, 0, 0, and then I restart. Here I restart, and it says 0, and then suddenly it says 11. This distant sonar 11, but counter is 0 after contact. Well, after yeah, alright, I didn't press the sensors, right? What happens here? Counter and alright. So this is the counter. This is the counter of the wheels, and whereas here during the community firmware it says absolutely blank, here it at least has some values. So let's run it again, and then I'll press some sensors. I press the sensor, the right one. Yeah, hello. Well, I did press the sensor, most definitely. But I don't hear sound now. The lamp went on. I don't hear a braking sound. And the propeller went on. Let's try again with the other sensor. This is making no sense, really. Okay. Again, no sound or whatever. And I pressed it twice. So let's do it again. Pressing repeatedly, lamp on, propeller on, but that's all there is. And I get some, yeah, 1, 0, so that is alright. It just makes no sense. And it's no use to go into the code because I didn't change anything. The only thing that suddenly appears to have changed. Oh wait, let me check on one thing. Python not found. You bet there is Python. You bet there is Python. It's 2.7. This is Python 2.7. Most definitely. I will remove those text images. They are making no sense right now. By the way, what's the date? See, that's the point. I shut it off and it's back to the wrong date. So that's a point. That's a problem, but that's only a problem for the text images. It has Python 2.7, while the other one has Python 3.51, I think, if I recall correctly. Anyway, program runs here. Back to the community firmware to check if those problems are still there. If those are still there, I'm in trouble. So yes, and then I have to think to put the date back. Alright, back to the community firmware. I have now logged out from the controller. Power off. SD card pushed in. Power on. Hope it comes back on nicely, because last time that was a problem as well. But it seems to go nice so far. Never know what happens. There we are. So I do have to set the date manually once again. Does it let me? So far so good. And this is 3. Yes, thank you. Time. We have progressed in time. It will be a very bad thing if you didn't. Let's keep it to 47. Alright. And back to the community firmware user interface. Also means I have to re-log in into the controller. No problem. And run the program again. See if touching the right, exactly the same, except that I pressed this sensor, but that is not really anything out of the ordinary. what is out of the ordinary is that the motor counters and the distance don't do a thing. Absolutely nothing again. So it's no it is no incident. It is an accident, I can say, but it is not an incident, because incidents are just a happening without repeat, and this is certainly not doing that. And yes, so on the controller for the firmware it is 2.7. This is 3.5, and that makes a big difference. Which also means that I have to contact the writer of the library, ft-robopy, because if this is stopping to work, where does it end? Weird thing is, by the way, that the same kind of program on the other controller from a walking robot showed no problem with the same software. So this is really weird, and I'm not quite sure what to do about it. Is a floor test necessary? Well, let's just do it. And while preparing for the floor test, the interface goes weird, as in really weird. The screen goes blank, or more appropriately black, and only this LED, well, lamp, let me call it that way, is blue. So then checking the terminal as I'm logged in, well, that doesn't do a thing. So it is, whatever it has done, it's no longer working. Can I actually log in again? Not really. Alright. It lights up. But what is it doing? Apparently starting up. It's now on battery, by the way, because of the floor test preparation. So what does it do? Does that also mean that after I log in, the date has gone? I can log in again. Date is, yes, back to 2000 something. Alright, I'll let that be for now. Go on with the floor test, and then see whatever happens, if something happens at all. Because with the current results, I am not really too pleased. So, yeah, let's do something. Alright, let's do a quick floor test. See whatever happens. And I get a broken pipe, also nice. Okay, running. What will it do? Well, at least that's something. It writes a bit, but on screen the same thing happens, being no input from the counters, for the sensors, etc. So let me run it again. I'll adjust the camera a bit. And let's see what happens once again. Is that something or nothing? Well, I can't even see if it stops on sonar, because I held my hand in front of it, because the sonar doesn't do a thing anymore, at least not visibly. So although it does run, it does respond, but I'm afraid the FTR will pi, etc. I don't like this. Anyway, end of this episode of problems. Thank you for watching. If you like this video and my other projects, please subscribe to YouTube. And if you don't want to do it for whatever reason, you can also follow me on Twitter and on Instagram. Twitter has live video link. Instagram can't have a video link, active video link that is. You have to copy and paste. And if you like my blog and would like to continue, please visit my website for some more information. And this is certainly going to be continued in whatever way. Bye bye.